So, after 12 weeks, well, 13 to be exact, here we are, the final episode of the final season of Attack on Titan Part 2, Episode 12. Yeah. And by this point, I'm sure those of you who watch a lot of Attack on Titan on YouTube, you've already been seeing the Attack on Titan, the final season Part 3 teasers coming out. And honestly, it's something how should I put it? Like, I feel some type of way for anime onlys because coming into this part of the season, I was actually expecting to get the entirety of the remainder of the story adapted. I wasn't saying like, yo, we're gonna have to wait another year for part 3. It's only when I was starting to hear, you know, through the grapevine, quote unquote, that yo, we're only going to get 12 episodes for this part of the season. I'm like, yo, Jano, you have to wait some time again. Of course, again, I am a manga reader, so it's just like, yo, I was looking forward to having a lot of discussions with a number of my anime only friends. So it's like, yo, Jano, have to wait another year. Ooh, granted, you know, props to Mappa because after this episode I suspect they'll only have 9 chapters to adapt, so I'm expecting the quality for part 3 to be like every episode is supposed to be like crazy good visually speaking. So yeah, but all in all, let's see what this episode has to offer. I know a number of persons, anime only specifically, have been waiting to see Eren and what's going on with him, and this episode is sure to deliver, especially since I expect it to cover the events of chapter 123, which was a flashback to Marley that they didn't adapt up to this point, and you know, the remainder of said flashback from chapter 130, give or take. So between 123 and chapter 130, I expect this episode to really cover those chapters. So yeah, let's see what it has to offer. And of course, before we begin, I know this is a big episode for those who want the AOE ending. So let's see what it has to offer. Anyway, Sanju Chair, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought about this part of the season and your expectations. Let's get right into it. Of course, again, to avoid copyright, you know, the banner and me in the picture. So yeah. That's a pretty nice shot there. The boy who sought freedom, Jano. I'm sure persons are happy to see Sasha again. And non-bandage Levi. Ooh, what's with this OST? Okay. This OST seems like a complete departure from Attack on Titan. I guess it's a good representation for the scouts like venturing out into like a new world. What? Yo, John, so yo, I don't even know them, dog. Yes, me. Man, it's like Jano, dog. Me just depressed. Yo, Sasha have our priorities straight, dog. Let's test out the food. Yo, Levi. Yo.
ちびっこギャングかな。
Yo, Levi, I feel like him styled him a while ago now. Ah, Mikasa looking cute.
エレンも食べて。
アイスか。
知ってたの？
私の記憶で知ってるだけだ。主翼の LDAG もめったに食えない。
これはジョーちゃんの問題じゃねえ。しっかり罰を与えて示しをつけねえ。
This is the part where you get to see the extremes. The extreme nature of the people outside. At least in Marley. Man say, yo dog, stop trying to clone me. But yeah, this is good because they get to, even though they're enjoying the outside world, they're quickly brought back to the reality of the situation. You know, at least on a smaller scale.
あのガキどこに行きやがった？
あそこ。
パラディ島が和平を望んでいることを表明する。
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that kind of has me wondering because, okay, without, no, more like if you're watching this video, you've already watched the episode, but yeah, I mean, they do eventually see that the group doesn't really desire peace with Parity, the Eldian protection group, but I'm wondering because Eren kind of leaves the group after that, so I'm wondering what the rest of the scouts did in the, you know, the 12 months after that, give or take. Because of course they were depending on the, you know, the Azumabito to get some to bargain with Hizuru to basically represent Parody and establish friendly relations, and that didn't work, so they came here. The group didn't work. I'm wondering if the scouts tried to make contact with like any other group to have any peace talks or anything. I'm wondering just generally what the scouts did in the additional 12 months that Eren was away from the group after, you know, he's going to leave the conference after this. So just kind of curious because I've been thinking about it like, okay, have they managed to reach out to anybody to express that they want peace? I'm wondering, you know. Of course, Tiber isn't on the scene, he's still in the shadows ruling Marley, so yeah, and I guess it would be difficult to actually like talk to anybody because of the extreme nature of their prejudice and racism against you know, Eldians, especially the island devils. So again, not really a black and white situation.
私どもアズマビト家は和平の協力を惜しみません。ですが、どれほどそれが実現可能である。
Alright, the moment that AOE readers are waiting on. Will Mikasa's answer change? Probably not still. Yo, Eddie, oh, this answer changed and we're going this Akatsuki no Rakim or AOE ending. Listen, people are going to lose their mind.
自分が敵の最重要目標だってことが分かっているの？みんなであなたを探し回って。市場の少年、何があったの？
まだ何も。
どういうこと？ここは？
戦争で居場所をなくした人たちが集まって暮らしている。俺たちもそうだった。ある日突然日常が終わって何もかもが奪われた。すべての自由を奪われるんだ。ミカさん、お前はどうして俺のことを気に
Why do you care about me so much?
子供の頃
Because I saved you when we were kids? Or because I'm family?
家族だからか。
Yo, CT, I know! What am I to you?
あなたは？
Ah, okay. So AOE theorists, it's over. I guess we can't expect an anime only ending.
医者なり日中
Again, I'm loving the choice of OST in this episode. It just feels different and really represents like that foreign land kind of deal compared to being on Parody. Okay. This is more like a remix of something we already know. Do 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 do. Eren, yo, Shadow, like seeing this, honestly, I'm imagining it just makes the whole rumbling a lot more like sad, honestly. Wait, what? Who that just threw up? Sasha? Yo.
我々は各国にし
違っていたんじゃないかって。
Hold on. Information available for public disclosure. The world. Beyond the walls, there's a sea. On the other side of the vast blue sea is a continent. That continent has cities, bustling markets, and all sorts of people living there, just like on the island. But in the outside world, subjects of Ymir are despised more than anything.
どこからが始まりだろう。
Alright.
あそこか。
This should be events of chapter 130 now.
どこでもいい。ふりをする。
Alright, flock with the Glock.
従うふりをして何をするんだ。
他に方法はなかった。
Hmm.
でもあの時エレンが私をかばってくれて、みんなが動いた。
できるさ。
So the worst girl in the world.
世界一
I don't know.
頭痛
Headaches. I never heard anything from Sava or the researchers
疾患があるなんて巨人学
about an illness specific to Ackermans.
記録
A
上
record show their power awakens when their survival instinct is triggered.
悪魔は力に目覚めるって場合が多いようだな。いやどうも
A reflex to protect their hosts?
守る習性
I doubt it's anything like that.
俺が
The way I see it, Eren.
なあエレンその子
Her devotion towards you has nothing to do with some forced behavior.
やむにやまれる理由もない。ただお
I
前
think she just likes you 長 enough to rip apart Titans for you.
殺せるくらい
Get yourself a Mikasa, gentlemen.
お前の
I really like how they're doing this, just like the manga.
俺は長生きしてる。
Ooh!
俺が死んだ後もずっとあいつらの人生は続く。続いてほしい。
No! Ooh, shit. Here we go. You know, thinking about it now, since I thought the Marleyans weren't really believing that the rumbling was coming. It'd be interesting to see who decided to believe and just, you know, get rid of the ships. You, that's looking clean. And I like how they're showing that some of the colossal titans are actually being affected. In the manga, it seemed like nothing was affecting them. Hey! Bro, the music, the arts, the tone, the yo. I guess so the people who wanted to see the destruction, it's here. Final episode. Yo. Yo. The music, bro. I'm sure some of you have seen the fan animation of this exact scene. Yo. Oh, what looks sick. Bro.
この世から一匹残らず
Bro. Well. Well. Whew. Talk about ending on the biggest, well, probably one of the biggest cliffhangers, the biggest teases, like, yo. This episode was awesome. I know some persons are going to look at it and say, yo, there's a lot of talking in this episode, which, again, after all this time, they wanted to see much more of the destruction and the chaos that Eren was going to be causing. But all in all, like, objectively speaking, this episode did what it had to do in terms of covering the events of, again, the latter half of chapter 123 and chapter 130, and giving just enough, I guess, insights, or the long-awaited insight into Eren's mind and his perspective on things. Granted, it's not as a manga reader, I'm telling you, it's not the entire perspective just yet. There's much more to go in terms of getting insight into Eren's perspective on everything. But after the rumbling started in about episode 5, persons have been dying to see what was going on from his perspective, and I think this was more than enough to whet the appetite of anime onlys, if I'm being quite honest, because going from the events of 123 from, you know, Mikasa's perspective, and them getting into Marley, which I thought was a nice, beautiful start to the episode, because again, between just how the characters were reacting and the music, it really set the tone to, like, really emphasize that, yo, we're not on the island anymore. And I mean, we did get that already in this part 1 of, you know, season 4 with, you know, attacking Liberio, but this one's the genuine innocent childlike exploration of the outside from the character's perspective, and we see it in their facial reactions, them buying ice cream, the OST. It was really good, but there's the flip side of it, the nuance to it, that, yo, even though we're having fun, the characters are, like, brought back to reality. The characters and us, the audience, because again, we get to see the intense, you know, hatred, intense prejudice, intense racism for just persons that have, you know, migrated, immigrants. Would immigrants be the right term? Yeah, that have come to the continent of Marley. Things that Gabby's friend was saying in terms of how Eldians are treated across, well, elsewhere in the world. You kind of get to see a good perspective of it, like just the extremism of it here, with how they were treating that young boy who stole Sasha's wallet. And I thought that was good because it really brought them back to the sense of reality that they have to face in terms of combating the hatred and the prejudice that Eldians face outside the walls. So I thought that was really good, really balancing those two things in a short period of time, especially since this is the final episode for this part. And of course, despite their efforts in trying to, let me kind of step at a time. Again, throughout the episode as well, in terms of Eren, because of course the big focus is Eren in this episode, I would say you get much more insight into his perspective, I would say. In a lot of subtle manners, like that scene where he left the group. They were just, in terms of the day before, they were discussing, meeting this, group that was representing Eldians and all that jazz and blues, and we see him go out to the beach, to the refugee camp, and we see him, shed a tear. There are just some subtle things that kind of hint at Eren sees a much bigger perspective of things. And of course, by this point, we all know that he's seen the future, well, through his father's memories, and in his father's memories we saw that future Eren sent his memories to Grisha, and then present day Eren saw his own future memories through Grisha, memories of the night he killed the Reese family, all that jazz and blues. So Eren has the big picture of that he's going to do the rumbling in some shape or form, and it's those subtle moments that really hint at there's more to it than, yeah, Eren does want to destroy the world, but there's more to it than that. There's a lot of conflict internally going on. I think that was subtly represented in this episode, by him saying, like, when Mikasa was asking him, what happened, and he's like, nothing yet. Or when he was in the outside world and everybody was like, yo, ice cream, yada yada, and he was like really depressed and everything. It's just those subtle moments that really highlight it for me. Of course, the party scene with the refugees, it's honestly, it's really and truly to really paint this as not a black and white conflict. It's supposed to really highlight how like depressing this whole situation is supposed to be, because they got along with these refugees, and obviously with Eren finally arriving on the continent, he's going to be killing all those persons he was parting with in the flashback. So there's that. Of course, AOE and Akatsuki and Requiem theories have been shot down now with the whole, Mikasa giving the whole your family answer. The answer hasn't changed, so there's definitely that. And of course, it was nice to see the perspective of Historia in this episode, as well as how he got into the plan with Zeke, and how Flock was actually given instructions to work with Eren, all of that, which was good. Which that scene, I believe, is based like right after the train track scene, when he says his friends are the most important things to him, and we get to see how he like genuinely feels about his friends once more. It's re-emphasized in terms of he's got only 4 years left to live. Like, I just want them to be happy and live long lives. So highlighting one of Eren's grand goals for destroying the world. And it was just between the music and everything, it was really intense, very, very visceral. Like, it really, I can see others watching really like saying, yo, Jano, going through a mix of emotions in terms of seeing, especially that scene when he was cutting off his leg and really like blinding himself in one eye to kind of fit into Marley, to kind of go behind the scenes and everything. And of course, the revelation that Eren was lying when he said Mikasa was a slave, which I know I'm pretty sure everyone kind of guessed already, if you're anime only. So yeah, little hints and tie-ups and all that jazz was really good. But as I said, there's much more to the perspective. There's much more insight to get into Eren. This episode really just kind of solidified one of his many goals in terms of rumbling. And once we start with part 3, we'll immediately get into, I would say, probably the main reason that he's doing the rumbling. But if you've been analyzing Eren's character, as he said in this episode, and they highlighted it with the flashback to his mother being eaten, he's just going to eliminate all of the these vermins from the world, quote unquote. But that last scene, with Eren destroying the allied fleets, jeez, that was just the lighting and the sunset, the dawn of humanity. It just looked really beautiful. And I think it really emphasizes that line from season 1, the world is cruel, but it's very beautiful. And I think that really represents this entire last bit of the episode. Like, it was so beautiful to look at, but just ominous. And Eren coming in, the time is looking really beautiful. And I like how this part of the season, as I was saying in the reaction, like reading the manga, it seemed like the cannon fire wasn't doing anything to any of the Titans, but it's good to see that some of the Titans were being destroyed, but just not enough. And Eren looking menacing in that last shot. Jeez. So yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Again, it kind of sucks that we have to wait another year for Attack on Titan, the final season, part 3. But I'm expecting every episode to be visually stunning, like movie quality. Mappa, just round of applause for the work they've been doing through part 1 and part 2 thus far. And I'm really curious what is going to be the genuine final opening for Attack on Titan. Probably they'll get about Linked Horizon to do the final opening. Jeez. This episode it was just awesome. Again, just the subtle hints in terms of the internal conflict that's going on with Eren. Given all we know in terms of him knowing the future and all of that, just the enormous task that's on the plate for the scouts to try and engage in peace talks. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video, and I was thinking, like, after Eren left, I'm wondering what they did within that time, because it's like I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're saying that we can't really talk to this group for Eldians, we can't talk to Marley, Tiber hasn't made an appearance yet, so it's not like there's not really much they can do. But I'm still curious what was done in the time between Eren left and the end there. So yeah, but all in all, I thought it was an amazing episode. I think I've said my piece. A year to wait, and I guess that's next year January before we actually get into it again. But anyway, let me know if there's anything I missed. I'm looking forward to actually talking with you guys in the comments section in terms of just analyzing and just it's Attack on Titan, man. Yo, that last part was amazing, especially with the OSTs. Jeez. Jeez. If you're anime only, I want to know how you guys feel about this episode. Yeah, I want to know. But anyway, Sanju Chia, it's been an amazing season of Attack on Titan. Well, amazing second part of the season for Attack on Titan. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Hope you guys are having an awesome night. This video should be going up before Monday, so yeah. But anyway, Sanju Chia, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next Attack on Titan video.